Pozdravlenie s Novым Godom, and welcome to Frosty Kiss. Now, for those of you who don't speak Russian, I just wished you a Happy New Year. So, Frosty Kiss, this is a fan project of Everlasting Summer, made by 2chan's projects. Not 2chan, like the Russian website, but 2chans. I'm no expert, but I think this is a reference. So, this game is set 1 year after everybody returns out of the camp. Everybody's in the real world, and it's about who you give a kiss on New Year's Eve, if I remember correctly. So I guess we'll meet all the girls and we get to make some decisions, and one thing is for sure, if I kiss Lena, then this will be a bad year 2016. So, without further ado, let's jump right in. Man, I haven't played something Everlasting Summer related in a while, you know? Like the last thing was probably either Travnica or Samantha. No, I think it was the Halloween update of Travnica. But except for that, and of course my little silly Winter Tale video, I haven't done something with Everlasting Summer in a while. And it's kinda sad. Now this, that I can play this, makes me even more happy. So, it's time to go back to being Semyon. I wonder, what is the spirit of New Year? And what is New Year itself? Just another time cycle? One of the many red letter days? Or a much more alluring and mysterious event? By the way, I was already warned the translation might not be perfect, so we won't complain about that. If my memory serves me right, the New Year was celebrated even in ancient Rome. Who knows, maybe even before that? That is actually a good question. Like this New Year is probably... I think our calendar is an invention of ancient Rome. So it would make sense that they celebrated New Year. But what other cultures did, I mean, they probably had some kind of cycle as well. But why is it a holiday? And why are people so excited about it? Everyone decorates New Year's trees. Well, they do in Russia, not in ancient Rome. Dreams up various stories, invites their friends. Oh, and my best friend. Semyon, there's a lot of free space behind it. What's the matter? Are you grudging the toys? Lena's voice made me snap out of my thoughts, and I found myself standing still, clutching a small glass statue of a snow maiden in my fidgeting hands. Yeah, I'm on it. Slavia, chop it smaller. We won't be able to eat it this way. Ulyana, cucumbers should be over there. Have a look, please. Oh, talking about having a look, let's look at the room. I think the poster over in the top right, you know, the guy with the red flag? I think that was also an Everlasting Summer. Except for that, I'm not sure, to be honest. Nothing seems too familiar. Alright. Ein Moment. First of all, that is wrong German. I want to say that. Second of all, it is cool that it is German. It is still wrong. Everyone around is busy with holiday duties. Even I, driven by the ambience, volunteered to bring and decorate a New Year tree. Why did Ulyana just talk German? Huh. What? Ein Moment. But it is supposed to be German. I don't know, man. At least it is German. I mean, it's a bit wrong. It's an itsy bitsy tiny bit wrong, but I think it's supposed to be German. Everyone around is busy with holiday duties. Even I, driven by the ambience, volunteered to bring and decorate a New Year tree. I think I already read that. I'm still a bit shocked, but cool. Hey, I'm all for German and everything. Wow. That sounded kind of wrong. Today is the 31st of December. We've reached an agreement to celebrate New Year at Lena's. It just happened that way. Anyway, it's not like we had any other options. Sorry guys, I had to make a short cut here. I realized that the music on the recording was actually super loud, so I tuned the volume of the background music a bit down. Like, it's a bit problematic. The music goes from really silent to really loud. in an instant, like in the course of a few seconds in this game. And it's tough to find the right balance for the music volume. Now, I did use this break though, because I found an explanation why Ulyana spoke German. So hear me out. This is totally canon. Ulyana is named after Vladimir Ilyich Lenin, whose actual name was Vladimir Ilyich Ulyanov. Ulyana, Ulyanov, you see. Lenin spoke fluently German. And Ulyana inherited his superpowers. That already sounded stupid in my head, but when I said it, it sounded even stupider. Or even more stupid, Jesus. Alright, here we go. Lena's place was the obvious choice, after all. Who would be pleased to celebrate New Year in an untidy and dusty apartment like mine, or in the dormitory in which Slavia and Alisa lived? Several hours left until New Year, and the preparations were going all out. I was finishing decorating our New Year's tree. Slavia, Ulyana and Lena were casting their spells on the festive meals. Meanwhile, Alisa dashed to get the groceries as we were running out of ingredients on the last minute. Obviously, we were hoping that Genya and Masha would drop in, but the evening was getting darker, and the girls were nowhere to be seen. A little critique point, I don't know if I already mentioned that, but it's tough reading white letters in a light blue box with a green tree in the background. Like it's actually tough to read the words. Maybe like a darker box would help here. The front door slammed, allowing in the freezing fresh air that could even be felt here near the Christmas tree. Come get the supplies! Having finally hung the glass statue on a branch, I come up to Alisa. Judging by her voice, the supplies were pretty heavy. Oh! I just realized now that when Alisa came in, I looked to her right. Is that a photo of Genda? I think that is a photo of Genda. Like I already realized, as mentioned, the one photo of the dude in the right upper corner, but in the background there's a photo of Genda. Ah! She stood with her back against the wall, trying to catch her breath. Lena, couldn't you find an apartment even higher? Whoa! Sure, it doesn't matter whether it's the second or the fifth floor. It's exhausting in any case. She shouted in the direction of the living room. Only muffled laughter echoed from there. What, you climbed the stairs while carrying all that? Can't you see? Why didn't you use an elevator? By the way, I'm actually a big fan of your coat, Alisa. But Jesus, the hair. Like the hair is a no. The hair is a no. Me as a fashion pope, I was just declared that by the council of fashion priests that I just made up. I say the hair is a no. The coat is a yes. So, thank you. Please go to a barber. Alisa stood up to me and glanced angrily at me. Being a smartass. The elevator already went up and I didn't want to wait. What you standing still for? Move this to the kitchen. Stop making eyes at me and move. Alisa has always been a kind of a locomotive and, at the same time, an ignition spark in our company, just as Ulyana. If we gathered up somewhere, it was definitely their scheme. Okay. The bags appeared to be really heavy, and when I tried to pick them up, I couldn't hold a cry of surprise. Wimp Semyon, wimping his way to his Wimp World Cup. Like Jesus fucking Christ. It's just like in Sovyonok. This man can't carry shit. Oh, how feeble the men are these days. Come on, let me help you. By the way, about the art style. I'm sorry that I talk so much in these first few minutes, but I really like that the creators went for a very similar art style. Like the posing, etc., etc. of the characters so far at least is very similar. But at the same time, it doesn't look 100% like Everlasting Summer. It looks a bit more polished, I'd say. So, I think the art is pretty cool. Together we managed to get the large, stretched due to the load bags to the coach? I think they mean couch, that lamentably creaked under their weight. What have you bought so much for? You'll thank me in the morning. Ulyana, do we go for the little girl voice? I mean, now you're like a grown as shit lady. And I actually don't have to feel bad now if we get into a romantic relationship. But I'm still gonna do the girl voice, just because it's easier to differentiate the voices that way. Wow, girls, there are some firecrackers over here. Nosy Ulyana has already peered inside the bag through a hole in its side, pulled out the long black box, yelling cheerfully, tearing the bag even harder. Oranges fell out and rolled around the floor. Oh, BCE? Is that something like everybody? I don't know. Ulyana! Having noticed the disaster she's done, Ulyana gathered the fruit quickly and pretended a nice girl. Oh! By the way, I have nothing said about Slavia yet. I just realized. How could I? I talk about Alisa's outfit, but not about Slavia? How dare I? Alright, first of all, Slavia. Bangs and long hair is a no-go. It is a no-go. As mentioned, I'm the fashion pope for today, and I say it's a no-go. Either short hair with bangs or long hair without. I like your dress though. Like your dress has something. It looks old school on the one hand, but the way it is, I don't know. I don't know how to explain it in English. It is old school, and at the same time, it's not old. You know what I mean? I think it looks good, so thumbs up for that. Having noticed, oh yeah, I already read that. The front door slammed again. Masha. Oh, so was Masha? Really? Was she called in the real world Masha and not Miku? I don't remember anymore, to be honest. Ah. Hi, everyone! And where have you been loitering about? Masha entered the living room, wearing a dark dress and roll-neck sweater that suited her perfectly. I wasn't loitering anywhere. We recorded our song today, and I tell you girls, it's beautiful. Man, I haven't done this in a while. So what's up? Got any news? Are there more people to come? Cause there are a few of us here. Oh, Sovyonok, hi there too. Even though there were only 6 of us, it was getting pretty crowded in Lena's one-room flat. What a beautiful Christmas tree you have. Is it real or fake? You know, we've bought a fake one and it smells so awful. Well, like plastic, you know. And here you have a real one. It's so cute. I adore real Christmas trees. When I was little, we used to bring in and decorate a real Christmas tree. And I would even chew its needles. And I also love Oliver salad too. Do you add pickles to it? My mother always does, but none of my friends doesn't. Somebody had to calm Masha's endless chatter down, so I dared to chime the conversation. Or should I say, monologue. Miku's hair, yeah, I mean, it's shorter. It's interesting, actually. Like, Ulyana and Slavia look a lot like they actually did. At least from the hairdo, I guess, in the camp. While Alisa and Miku look very different. And I guess Lena looks pretty similar too. But none of them actually look like the way they did in the harem ending. Also, Slavia, if you can grow so much hair out in 1 year, I gotta say you have good genes, because I think that is physically impossible. We are waiting for Genia. Help us sort out the stuff, will you? Okay. Oh, by the way, this evening we... Suddenly, she went silent, pausing in mid-sentence. This evening you what? It's nothing. With a great deal of commitment, Masha went about loading off the bags, sorting food on the table, while leaving the rest of the stuff on the sofa. So she has secrets. Maybe evil secrets. There was a strange, nearly forgotten feeling that had been haunting me restlessly throughout the whole holidays. As though I was 12 again, hurrying up to bed so that I could wake up early in the morning and open gifts waiting for me under the New Year tree. And Masha's strange nothing only served to reinforce this feeling. Oh yeah, right, she's probably talking about present shopping or something. And that's why she couldn't tell. Okay, that makes sense. I guess this is the first time in about 5 or 7 years I find myself in high spirits on the new year. Today I enjoy myself rather than stay buried like a mole within 4 walls, forcing my eyes not to miss the moment the clock in the corner of the screen marks the beginning of another cycle of the seasons I couldn't tell the difference between. Whoo! Okay, one question for the Russian viewers. Are Russian sentences this long? or are the authors of this visual novel just writing never-ending sentences? Because either or, in English it doesn't really work that well, I think at least. The sentences are a bit too long. I'm not saying that this is a huge problem or something, but it's a bit confusing sometimes. It's all thanks to the girls. It's been only a while since the day we all met, though up to now we've been hanging out together and visiting each other pretty often, as if we were old friends. Well, perhaps it was the truth after all. But we can call everything that happened to us real? Or was it just a bright and vivid dream our company shared? Though it mattered not now. The more important thing is the lesson we've learned from this dream. Yeah, that's why we need no explanation for anything that happened. Yay! The hand of the clock was approaching the 10 p.m. mark relentlessly. Lena and Slavia were having a chat and rattling dishes in the kitchen. Oil was sizzling on the pan, and some meat was baking in the oven, filling the kitchen with appetizing savor as the serving of the festival table was reaching its end. Lots of trumpery was hanging from each and every corner I've reached. Garlands were winking with bright colors, and dolls' glassware was glistening from the branches of the New Year tree. The scent of tangerine and pine needles served as the complement of the elevated atmosphere of holiday. Just like in good old days of childhood. Ulyana and Alisa ran outside, having a strong intention to try out the explosive contents of the bag that filled it to the limit. Man, I'm not the biggest fan of firecrackers, you know. Like, I love watching them, but they're so fucking loud. Like, it sounds like you're standing next to a cannon, literally. Masha was lying on the sofa and seemed to be falling asleep. I was sitting in an old and soft armchair, staring aimlessly at the TV screen, where a bunch of show business stars in brightly colored dresses, Hollywood smiles shining on their face, were wishing the audience a happy new year. Though at that very moment, I had not the slightest intention to notice any of their historic behavior. No, not historic, but histrionic. Histrionic. Is that a word? At least I don't know it. All I wanted to see was a noisy celebration of holidays with cheerful people and their never-fading smiles. And I wanted to believe in their countless wishes of happiness and health, and that every wish would undoubtedly come true. This time at least. My eyes accidentally caught a sight of some kind of a little dark box lying on the floor. Ulyana's firecrackers. At the same time, a mobile phone rang somewhere in the kitchen. You want me to drop them? Nah, climb up and take them by yourself. I won't drop them to you. What? Oh, okay. Semyon! Go down and give those firecrackers to Ulyana. She's left them somewhere in the room. Thoughts were moving slowly in my head, as if my mind was enfolded in some haze, and I didn't want to leave the soft and cozy armchair. Well, I guess it's not really out of character for Slavia not giving firecrackers to Ulyana. I mean, at the end of the day, they are still dangerous. At least when you're not careful, and Ulyana seems like someone who's not careful. On the other hand, she lets Semyon bring them down. Maybe it's just about that she's cooking. That's probably more like it, yeah. Though, why don't I go out and breathe some fresh air? My stomach needs to take a break from those tempting smells anyway. Yeah, I hate that. I hate waiting for food and then sitting next to the kitchen and you already smell everything, but you still gotta wait, man. That makes me crazy. Go down to Ulyana. Drop down the firecrackers from the window. Okay, you know, if you have ever seen a Let's Play of mine, you know, I always do what I would do in real life. Usually. At least I try my best to. And I wouldn't drop firecrackers out of windows in general, so we better go down to Ulyana. Though it was too stuffy in the apartment. I'll go for a walk, I said to the girls in the kitchen and left the apartment, shuffling on my coat. Oh, new music. And a gigantic apartment complex, wow. Well, at least they have a nice Christmas tree and a playground. That's actually pretty cool, like, I don't know what it's like in Russia with playgrounds. But in Germany, sometimes it's not easy when you're living in such a huge complex to get to a near playground. At least they're not often right in front of the houses. So I think this is pretty cool. Like, I was a lucky kid. My playground was like 400 meters away, so it was really, really easy to reach. The street greeted me with noises from every corner. Someone was launching fireworks. Children were playing with pack tops, little toys that were spinning and launching sheaves of multicolored sparks. I think I know that. Or at least something similar. Ulyana and Alisa were setting up a huge firework that was probably equipped with at least 30 shots, as the box wasn't a small one. Yeah, because they can't do smaller, they need to let the whole complex explode. I'm afraid to imagine what cut of our budget was spent on this insanity? I guess insanity. Whoops. Did I skip something now? No, I don't think so. Got it? Instead of answering, I showed her the small box. Give it here. Ulyana snatched the box out of my hands. Well, now we're gonna rock this night. Oh god. I like Alisa, Ulyana's hairdo. I think I already mentioned that. But her jacket looks like she has abs. I mean, it's nothing bad if she would have abs, but I think it's the jacket. So, Jesus, I'm only talking about clothes. I'm really shallow today. It's New Year, it's nearly New Year when I'm recording this, like a few hours before that. So, I should be not as shallow and start the new year out like that. She had a twinkle in her eyes, just like a small child. She was probably thinking of something to blow up the whole time. Why did you buy them? You could make it yourself. It isn't the first time for you after all. Ah, he's talking about blowing stuff up. Now that is actually a good question. Because if I remember correctly, the harem and made it pretty clear that the girls Semyon met in the camps weren't real girls. Saxophone, okay, we get in the mood. No, wait, that's a trumpet, isn't it? That's no saxophone. Jesus. I have no idea. I have no idea about music. Yeah, so the harem ending made it pretty clear that Semyon didn't meet the real girls in the camp. And the girls themselves had their own camps. So did they blow anything up at all? We don't know, actually, I think. If I got that correctly. If looks could kill, there would just be a small pile of ash left of me under Alisa's incinerating glare. Okay. You're such a jackass, Semyon. What's wrong? Victorious capitalism prevailed over the young chemists. Old habits still turned up in the worst time possible. And now I realized I unwillingly teased Alisa. Alright. I'm sorry. Don't blow top. Hands raised themselves in a reconciling gesture. I mean, I can't prove that, but I just did the exact same gesture. Would you, for one, stop apologizing in an upcoming year? Maybe. Just don't get mad at me. She just tiredly waved me aside and chilly shrugged. I'm gonna get a warm. Freeze yourself if you want to. My coat wasn't the most frostproof one, which is why I started to freeze as soon as I left the porch and felt the first wind blast. Just as I wanted to go back to the apartment, I was actually pulled by the sleeve. Hey, who's gonna launch the fireworks? And there are still some firecrackers left. Stay and launch the fireworks. Go get a warm. Okie dokie. Now this is not so easy. On the one hand, I don't wanna I'm not the biggest fan of letting her alone here. On the other hand, I'm not the biggest fan of fireworks as well. That's not easy. This is really not easy. Well, you know what? Today we jump over our shadow. If that is an expression in English, which this is probably not, but it is in German, and from now on, it's also in English. So, we stay and launch the fireworks, even though I'm not the biggest fan of fireworks. But I don't want her to be alone as well, and make that herself, like that kinda sucks too. Like, what kind of dick move is it anyway for Alisa to just go? Perhaps I should stay. Alisa, you can go back home while we prepare for the launch. I pointed my finger at the back with fireworks cylinders sticking out of it. Well, so you are a numbskull after all. Question. Isn't she one of the 2 people who prepared this fucking idiocy? And now she's calling me a numbskull? You haven't changed, Alisa. You're still a bad person. She snorted, turned around expressly, and trudged back to the apartment. You got what you wanted. I'm a numbskull now. Ulyana just giggled behind my back in response, and my neck was instantly bited by billions of icy needles. You red-hat piece of... Without even turning around, I carefully drooped, trying to cover myself from incoming snowballs with one hand, while scooping some snow and making a snowball with another. Hey, that is not fair! She didn't even let me turn around, aiming at my head and quite frequently hitting it. Will you stop already? Nope! She lost focus for just a moment, and after 2 life-saving jumps, I utilized the nearby bushes as cover. The stern battle raged on. By dodging snowballs, I managed to warm myself up pretty nice. I no longer wished I had gone home with Alisa. Man, I haven't had a snowball fight in forever. That's basically because... No, now that I think about it, the last few winters, there was actually a lot of snow in Germany. Huh. Oh well. After another sharp hit to the bright down jacket, a snuffy voice could be heard from behind the tree. Hey, that's not fair! Go on! Tell me I shouldn't have taken a dive. Of course you should have. What? Let me read that. Go on, tell me I should have taken a dive. Oh, like a dive, like in boxing or other sports, like he should have lost for her. Okay, now I get it. She went out from behind the tree, snuffily looking at me with her arms akimbo. Her upset appearance was so funny that a smile appeared on my face. Quit sulking with me. Got hit with a snowball. That isn't such a big a deal. Now that is a very different gesture from Everlasting Summer. And it also, like from the drawing style, it also already looks a bit... Now compare this to this. I'm sorry, I'm just wondering, like, her head seems so much bigger, and all of her... It seems like someone else has drawn that. Am I the only one imagining that? I mean, which wouldn't be all that bad, I'm just wondering. Ah. Anyway. Alright, let's go launch some firecrackers. Her easily appears temper could knock my socks off sometimes. Just a moment ago she was burning me with her blazing expression. And now she's already suggesting screwing around. Let's go. Wee! Excuse me. Just the expression wee. It's always funny to me, I don't know why. Wee! Ulyana quickly ran away from another illuminant Tim, which had a thin grey string of smoke coming out of its hole. In a second, an unlucky piece of aluminum was torn asunder with a sudden blast. Just like a kid. Even despite the fact that Ulyana was on her first year of studies in a university, her ways of entertainment couldn't be called ordinary. Judging by the other girls' stories, she was always screwing around. Apparently, she even volunteered to be a camp leader. Hey, I think she would be a cool... this kind of person like Ulyana is actually the perfect camp leader. Like, she knows, since she herself was like a kid who screwed around a lot, she knows how to handle kids who screw around a lot. And at the same time, she's enough childlike herself to lead such a camp. Like, those people are usually the best people to educate kids, in my opinion. Not always, but often. Ulyana as a camp leader. That image appeared in my mind instantaneously. A pioneer uniform, a strict voice, lecturing ankle biters. I couldn't contain the laughter. What you laughing at? Nothing. Just thinking why some individuals still enjoy playing with firecrackers. Ulyana gave me a surprised look. What's wrong? That's funny. Where's the fun in that? Just an explosion, and the tin is torn apart. It's possible to hurt an eye with a splinter. Let's not do this again, okay? I'm worried. Ulyana waved her hands in protest. About yourself? About you as well. Well, if you're worried about me, we won't do this again. An explosion went off right behind her back. Alright. I frowned. Something should be done to bring that girl to her senses. Whoops, I just hit the recording button. God damn it, how did I do that? My keyboard is so far away from my fucking hand. Man. We gotta end the episode anyway, I think, pretty sooner or later. As far as I know, the game is not that long. Or at least not super long. So I guess if we do like 30 minutes or 25 minutes, it should be okay. Yeah, alright. That was the last one, I swear. I stretched my hand out, and Ulyana sorrowfully unloaded the rest of the warheads in the palm of my hand. You are indeed boring. What are we gonna do then? I was about to suggest something, but immediately reconsidered, cause I had nothing to suggest. I couldn't even imagine what one could do outside in winter, besides wandering around between the house and the nearest mini-market. And optionally, studies. Let's make a snowman? I gave her a condescending look. I'm still 10 years old for you? Yeah, if you can do a fucking snowball fight, you can make a fucking snowman. Jesus, what's wrong with it? To me it's fun. She silently sat on her hunkers and started to furl the soft snow. I was standing nearby and amusedly watched her attempts to make something out of a slush ball. Don't just stand here, help me. Well, great, really mature. Okay, we'll make a few balls, put it on top of each other. So what? Ulyana stood up and threw a serious look at me. Look, that's all. Everything is a part of New Year. The presents, the snow, the bells chime, Father Frost. All of this is New Year. I don't get why you're such a deject creature. What happened in your life that you look like all the fun has been pumped out of you? The thing is... nothing. Nothing happened. That's why I'm like that. I'm not sure if that was the truth or not, but somehow I really wanted to trust myself. That the reason for my passiveness, who was my style of life itself, not me. That the reason for my passiveness was my style of life itself, not me. I think the who is too much, otherwise I don't get the sentence. It's always pleasingly to know that someone else is responsible for your failures. Although that is not the right way of looking at life, Semyon, I gotta say. Ulyana kicked the slush ball, and it fell apart. He turned around and headed to the porch. I froze in place. Just a second ago I was ready to leave myself, but now I felt extremely offended. Offended by myself, by being such a miserable toad. I can't even pretend I'm cheerful to not upset the girl. I felt some kind of unpleasant, tight lump appear in my chest. If I managed to upset Ulyana, I really did something wrong. And this holiday to boot. It meant a lot for her. I could have not had these feelings, but for sure I didn't have a desire to spoil it for someone. I sat down in front of a tumble-down slush ball and tried to gather it in one piece. Somehow I managed to do it. Then I started rolling it on the ground, carefully straightening the sides. The slush ball was slowly turning into a sphere. So, where are you? She turned around and saw me making circles around the quadrangle. What are you standing for? Come on, make a second one. Ulyana incredulously came closer and started to make the second ball, keeping an eye on me. She tried to roll it, but all of a sudden slipped and her face fell directly on the slush ball. When she got up, her appearance was so hilarious that I couldn't contain myself and bursted into laughter. Funny as a crutch. But her face was a dead giveaway, and in a second she couldn't control herself and started laughing out loud. Then she made a snowball and threw it in my face. The snow got precisely in my mouth, which made the situation even more hilarious. Having finally stopped laughing, we continued to make the snowman, smiling from ear to ear. And here it is, something made of the 3 snow spheres, with hands that were supporting the fat pot belly, standing before us. Instead of the nose, that snowman had a branch, and some random cornelets ended up as his eyes. You know what I always did with snowmans? I actually liked it better like them having not a carrot or something as the nose, but I made a big hole. Like that. Not, I don't know, more like ears, I suppose. But I don't know, like a fake carrot nose was never made sense to me, but now that I think about it, just a hole as a nose makes no sense either, does it? Huh, why did I do that? If only we had a carrot. That would be a real classic. With a broom in the hand and a bucket on the hat, to be precise. I was standing next to Ulyana and watching the snow miracle. And all of a sudden, I felt so warm and cheerful. Like going back to childhood, when we were walking and playing in the snow with my parents. Ulyana looked at me, and I grabbed her hand. I just had a sudden desire to hold someone's hand. It actually was like childhood. The snow falling from the sky, the New Year tree lighting up the outdoors, the snowman, someone's hand you can clasp. I checked the time. New Year was at hand. I dragged Ulyana's attention to the fireworks. Let's launch them right at 12 o'clock. All right, she said and gave me a warm smile. The phone's clock was counting down the last seconds of the strange, full of mysteries, losses and discoveries, happy and sad moments, year. Ulyana rose with a spring, pulling my sleeve. Is it time? It is. She took a match folder out of her pocket and ran up to the artillery, which was armed and ready by that time. 5, 4. Ulyana was emblazing wicks after wicks, constantly swearing and breaking the matches. 3, 2. The last wick ignited, strewing the ground with the sparks. 1. And precisely in the first second of New Year, the night above us shined with bright lights that looked like marvelous flowers. Red, green, golden, you name it. Look, look! Oh yeah, I already saw that picture. Like, also on the screenshots. She ran up to me, grabbed my hand and pointed at the sky. Although that was actually unnecessary, I was fascinated by the sight as well. What's so special about these lights and snowmen after all? Why exactly this day? Why do they make you wake up from this dream? From the dream, dust off the fluff, lighten up your soul. Watching Ulyana, it became clear that I just forced myself too deeply in the borders of dejection and loneliness I created myself. So maybe it is time to break these borders. And once again learn to enjoy the simple things and being a child at least sometimes. A chime of bells echoed from someone's open window. Ulyana shouted Happy New Year and suddenly kissed me right in my unshaved cheek. The same moment she became extremely shy because of her abrupt longing, dropped her eyes, and quit hold of my hand. I'm sorry. What's wrong? Nothing. She went beet red, nearly matching the shade of her cheeks with the color of her hair. Her embarrassed look gave me the warm feelings. I grabbed her hand and caught her surprised eye. Hey, no biggie. I bent down, kissed her in her ear and said, Happy New Year. Oh, and that is already it, the first route. So it's really not all that long. Na этом всю ее спасибо, что уделили... Too fast. Okay. Oh well. Всем удачи. That I could read. Alright, so that was fun. It's really not all that long, I now realize. Don't we go back to the menu or something? No? Ah, okay, we do. I was already wondering. Okay, so that was fun. I think good thing I didn't already stop. I mean, I'm over the 30 minutes I wanted to do. But, it was the correct idea to go on. Well, I felt we were in the middle of something, and I mean we were in the middle of something. Okay, what I really liked about this very first route is that they actually went with the theme of the Ulyana route in the game. That Semyon doesn't understand how to enjoy himself. And, you know, turned that into a short winter story. I like the idea. So they on the one hand, they stayed true to the story, to the original, and made up their own little story. And also, Ulyana didn't get a kiss on her mouth, because there is no sex in Soviet Union. So, not bad, not bad. I liked it, I had fun. So tomorrow, I guess next route. Or maybe 2, I mean, yeah, probably 2, like we already played the first few minutes, and I guess the different decisions will lead to different goals. Like if we went into the house with Alisa, we maybe would have gotten the Alisa ending. If we stayed in the house, we maybe would have gotten in either Masha, Lena or Slavia ending. But yeah, it was actually fun. And the characters, you know, it felt, at least with Ulyana, it felt like she was really in character. So, all in all, I had a good time. So, thank you everybody for watching. Come back tomorrow for... well, I don't know which goal we'll do, but we'll definitely do one tomorrow. And yeah, I'll see you then. Bye bye!